Welcome back, guys. Today we're gonna have just another short video because some things have been happening in the not Magic community, but the game of Magic the Gathering in general.
Alright, block there, kill that. Oh, that is trample. Guess I'm just dead on board.
As some of you might have heard, a certain Simic Mythic might have been banned from Standard. Yes, I know, some people have been calling it for a long time. And I know some people are asking, well, they banned a card, does that mean that they've fixed Standard? And unfortunately, I don't play Standard myself, but I've been talking to several of my friends, and no, Standard is not fixed, unfortunately. They've banned Teferi, they've banned Wilderness Reclamation, they've banned a whole bunch of cards, and you think by now they would have figured out what works and what doesn't, but that doesn't seem to be the case, unfortunately. From what I'm hearing, there's just way too many efficient creatures, and they've banned one ramp spell, and another has entered the format in the form of Lotus Cobra. Apparently it's allowing 4-color decks, and it's just running amok. But enough of the actual Standard format. But hey, at least one good thing has come out of it. As while I don't play Standard, I do play Commander, and I've been wanting to build Uro for the longest time, ever since I saw the Command Zone video with Josh Lee Kwai. But with the $50 price tag, I just wasn't able to, I was able to afford it, but why pay $50 when there's just so many good Simic commanders already? So hopefully, this will really drive down the price and I'll be able to pick up some singles cheaper. I know it's played in Modern, but hopefully there'll be a ton of Standard players now having to get rid of this useless card for them. But I actually think there's something a little more important to talk about than Uro being banned in Standard. And what's that? Well, it's the new Secret Lair drop. And some of you might be asking, what's so special about a Secret Lair drop? They have them all the time. They have them like sometimes even 2 times a month, which is too much, to be honest, in my thing, and as that's saying something from someone who loves to buy product. But they have announced a new Secret Lair that is a crossover with The Walking Dead. I know, really cool. Magic's really coming into the pulp culture of nowadays. And unfortunately, they're doing something different. So people are saying, well, we've already had crossovers. We had Godzilla with some really cool artwork on some lands, and them just retracing with different basically almost like altering the art. But what some people aren't realizing is, unfortunately, these aren't just reprints with different art. These are unique cards that aren't going to be printed anywhere else, except for the 4 days that they said they would be printing these. So hopefully you've got the money to spend for them, and hopefully you remember on time, because if not, these things are going to skyrocket in value the second they finish printing these. Assuming people actually get their hands on them, because, oh boy, it's definitely been a struggle to get some of the Secret Lair drops in the past. And with this, Wizards is just printing singles now for the general populace and just skipping packs altogether. And while that sounds really good, it has some really dire consequences in store for the future, unfortunately. While these cards seem very fun and mechanically flavorful, they lead to some interesting issues, especially what happens if they break another format. Wizards doesn't have the best track record, and I get it. Magic is a very tough game to balance. There's so many different aspects of it, so many different cards, and it's just impossible to balance everything. But when the cards that break the game are exclusive and basically reserve list at this point, it becomes a big issue. Everyone's heard of True Name Nemesis, they've heard of Arcane Signet, and other previously hard to get cards just driving up value. These things were sold out last year. They were selling for like $40, like almost double retail, just because they had these brand new instant hit cards that now every Commander player has to play with Arcane Signet. And this really leads into the issue. When something has a small print run, it just jumps the price. And unlike other Secret Lairs where you could still get the original card just without the alternate art, these ones are exclusive, especially since they are licensed characters. They can't reprint this in another set. There's no way they're going to print someone else's intellectual property and continually print them. But the worst of these contenders is probably Nexus of Fate. If some of you remember, Nexus of Fate was a buy a box promo for M19. And at first everyone thought it was just an interesting card, they thought nothing much of it. But when that card started topping lists, it became incredibly hard to find because it was only available as a buy a box booster promo. And what are you going to do, buy another box? This card just drove up the deck's price and made it really hard for new players to try and get in, especially when they needed 4 of these copies of this card that was really hard to get. This causes a huge ability for accessibility to new players, and that's really one of the things we have to watch out for when Magic the Gathering is growing, because it is growing. They sell more packs every day than they did last year. They sell more Commander products, they keep pushing out product left and right, and we keep buying it, and the player base keeps growing, which is great. But what happens when that player base needs one of these cards? Wizards is trying to get people into Standard, which is all good. But what happens when a Nexus of Fate arises, and all those Standard players need this exclusive card, and someone new getting into it just can't afford it? I know there are always budget brews and stuff like that, but that really begs to the question, if a player can't play the game, something's wrong with the game. And I'm not saying like everyone needs to be able to get into Vintage the second they start. It makes sense, this is a collectible card game that some cards are worth more than others. But with the main venue of buying packs, opening packs, and pulling cards for your decks, or at least that's the way Wizards wants it since it doesn't acknowledge the secondary market. With this not being available in normal packs, how is a player going to get this, except for paying exorbitant fees on the secondary market? When you can't open something in a $4 booster, that's a problem. Or you can't pull a copy of the card from a $4 booster. I love these alternate art cards. I love the Godzilla cards. I love the box toppers. I wish that they would go into masterpieces. I know there's a whole another talk about how masterpieces ruins the set value and all that, but I was really sick of them when they first came out, but now I really wish that I didn't have to buy a collector's booster to buy a fetch land. Like, I really wish that, I remember back in cons when you could open it and find it in a land slot. You can't do that nowadays. You can only buy it in a $20 booster, and that's just not right. This drop should be a celebration of Magic finally breaking through into the mainstream media. This drop should be really cool and will be really cool to a lot of players because this is going to sell. It's going to sell really well because everything always sells. Every Secret Lair has held their value. Every Secret Lair goes up. There's no reason that you shouldn't. And unfortunately, that's actually a detractor. When you're forced to buy these products, it just really hurts. Like, I have a good job. I'm very thankful for that. But I know a lot of people, especially the younger people that are in college, high school, this says 7 and up. Players that are 7 and up can't afford to buy all this product. And when they need that card, how else are they going to get it? This drop for The Walking Dead is going to bring in so many new players that are going to see this on their Twitter feed, their Facebook feed, Reddit. Who knows where they're going to find it, but they're definitely going to see it. And it's going to bring a lot of players in. But by the time they get in, this drop's going to already end it. And what do you say to a new player that's like, oh, I want to play that Walking Dead, that seems so cool. And you're like, oh yeah, that drop, you can't buy it anymore. And those cards, they're all $100 each. They're all $200 each. Who knows how expensive they can be. But even $50 for a single card for a new player, that can be devastating. I wouldn't have wanted to start this game if I knew that it was going to be this much money. I mean, I love the game. I don't mind spending the money that I do on it because I really enjoy it. But I remember when I started, and I remember spending $1 on a card and being like, wow, I'm really putting in money when I had to buy 4 Sun Petal Groves for $1 each. And when you're asking players to spend even more, especially new players, that's gonna just turn them off. They're gonna be like, well, I guess this really isn't worth it. I know this is cool, but it's just not worth the money investment, especially now that times are tough with the epidemic going around people losing their jobs, unemployment going down, or unemployment actually rising, but the unemployment benefits going down, people should be saving money for better times. And while I've been able to purchase all this, if I lost my job, I'd have to stop. I mean, I've got my collection and I'd be able to play that for a very long time, but what happens if, say, one of the Walking Dead cards is now an essential staple for Commander, and I'm not able to afford it? What happens if Sol Ring was also $50, even with the amount of times they did? That would really hurt, and definitely would hurt my opinion of the format. I am all for them printing secret layers of alternate arts. I think that's really cool, and it gives more players more access to more cards. I am not good with them printing exclusive cards that might break formats, that might ruin the game and might be very expensive and only an opportunity. Like, I get it, not everyone was around for Alpha, that's why those cards are so expensive. They're 25 years old. But this is a brand new thing. This is a brand new thing that I shouldn't have to worry about my friend who wants to get in a month from now having to spend all this money for these cards. That's just not right. I know this video was a little downer, and I'm sorry for that. If you want to hear more about this, I would definitely check out the professor's video. He did a great job talking about the Secret Lair drop, its implications on the future, and why Wizards really shouldn't be doing this. Let me hear about what you think Wizards should be doing for the Secret Lair drop. Do you think they should be silver bordered, not legal anywhere? Who knows? I'm in the camp that they should have just rebranded cards from Zendikar Rising, or even Commander Legends, or whatever Commander set's coming out this year. And that would have been so much better. There wouldn't have been any controversy if this was just an alternate art cards. But unfortunately they didn't do that. And when this sells, and it will sell, man, they're just gonna, every month there's gonna be a new Secret Lair of exclusive cards that players just have to buy because they're too powerful to not play with. But again, drop your comments down below on what you think Wizards should be doing, and hopefully I will see you guys later. If you like this video, consider subscribing, giving it a like, doing all that fun stuff, as it really helps us keep making more videos. And remember, don't give up, even if you're dead on board. I'll see you guys later.